What's up? 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 What's up, Manny? Can you guys hear me? I got my earpiece in because Sesame Street's in the background. What's up, official Beast So Fly? How you doing? Hola, hola. You guys can hear me? Scotsman? Yes. Okay, cool. Thumbs up, I'm assuming, is yes. Awesome. Jenny Ann, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? I'm upstairs here with my tool. Cool. Uh, we are going live with a very special guest. What's up, Eric Weinstein in the house? Eric, I asked if you could be on Tuesday at 10:30 PST AM. That would be incredible. Eric Weinstein, genius mind. Actually, Joe Rogan, heard you first on Joe Rogan. Got a lot of important things to say that a lot of people need to hear. And in the meantime, we're going to go live with YNOT. What's up, everybody? Waiting for YNOTism. YNOTism, everybody. What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Good, man. So I guess we got some musical accompaniment here. What's up, brother?
Chilling, man.
Why Not is a member of Rocksteady Crew. I consider Why Not to be probably the best top rocker I've ever seen, and I know that's no, I know, but you know what I'm saying. It's like it's everything is relative, man. You gotta maybe push the camera back at some point today to show us some of your footwork because I just don't even growing up in the we're launching right into it here. Why not? But growing
Let's
up
do it.
in the '80s in New York City, the top rock, the up rock that we had was so remedial compared to what it is now. And I feel like you yourself have taken it to almost this rocket scientist level. You're on another level of physics with the way that you move. Tell me about because you're obviously a b-boy too. You do power moves, you do breaking. Do you do
Sure.
popping and locking or no? You just
Actually, I started off popping first.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where my body control really came from, and timing. Playing music and then popping was like really important. I think for me to move forward with the whole b-boy thing.
So wait, where are you from originally? What is the genesis of Why Not? And speaking of which, where did the name Why Not come from?
Okay, well, I was born in New Jersey. I started getting into jazz music was probably my introduction to things, right? My mom was really uh, playing a lot of music in the household. So I heard a lot of like Prince, Stevie Wonder, some disco was a big thing for her because she used to do like Lindy Hop and the Hustle, back in the day. So
Gotcha.
my father actually was teaching her some Lindy Hop stuff, but she would do the hustle. I mean, that was the main thing in New York at the time, right?
Yep.
She's originally from Brooklyn, right? My dad's from the Bronx. So when they met, and when they had me, then they moved to Jersey. After when they
Okay.
had my sister, actually, they moved to Jersey.
So you
Oh, wow.
were you were you were born from the loins of two native New Yorkers,
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
which says a lot. I think the Bronx, to me, I always say the Bronx is the most legit. I'm from Manhattan, but I feel like the Bronx is the heart and soul of New York. They always say Manhattan makes it, Brooklyn takes it, Queens is the wax, Staten Island soft and smiling, Bronx bugging out on crack. But to me, Bronx is like legit hip hop, the genesis. Then there's Manhattan, Brooklyn. It could go either way. No offense to everybody. People are going to take this the wrong way. Staten Island, you guys are over here. You guys have some great, contributions to the culture, but the Bronx. Let's just get to the Bronx. The Bronx is so legit. So it makes sense that you were conceived. Do you know if they had sex with you in the Bronx? Were you because that makes you more legitimate of a b-boy?
It's a good question, man. I'm gonna have to ask that. I'm not really
Because my
sure.
mom actually had me conceived on the one train No, I'm kidding. I don't know, but that would be way cooler if she did.
Imagine,
Because
like, that's a real story to tell, though, right?
listen, there's a lot of story. So okay, so you're from Jersey. Where in Jersey? What exit are you from?
Okay, so I was born in Passaic, but we eventually moved around a bit. But I went to Clifton High School, so if I can use that kind of like an origin place, especially for when I got into everything that I'm into now, basically, that was my first kind of introduction early on with meeting people who were like into graffiti, other people who would dance, and but the thing is like it was like considered old, right? So anybody you talk to at that time, and I'm talking now like what, 94, 95, like people were like, yeah, we did that in the 80s. I met so many people who said that, right? Like that was the thing,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, we did that before, you know. What you're doing is nothing new, basically, you know. So when I started getting into it, obviously everything on television was like, you know, Michael Jackson, all these types of things. People were imitating that, doing, you know, glides and stuff and popping. And Soul Train was still on TV, right? It was like a different version.
Right.
I also remember Def Comedy Jam used to have dancers at the end, and I watched a
Mm.
lot of that. BET had Old School Wednesdays. That was my first time seeing people like legs on TV and things like that. But I didn't know anything really at first
Okay.
until I started meeting people.
So, and I know that you. So flash forward. You what did you do? You start dancing on the street, or you just started just
Yeah, just
we
messing
all
around,
just messing around, dancing
like
on the street.
imitating, I guess, what I saw. You know, trying to get as much info as possible. It was hard to meet people who were doing it, like still doing it. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
ran into a lot of people by doing it though. It was almost like, you know, how you see in the kung fu movies where it's like everybody walking around as a master, but you don't really know until they display something, and then you're like, oh, you know that style, you know, and then it just kind of
Yeah.
goes into that conversation. So yeah,
So you yeah, shout out of course to Caitlin Bottom says Soul Train. That's what I'm interpreting that is. Don Cornelius Soul Train put on so many good dancers.
absolutely.
MJ, so many good poppers. You know, I have I started dancing. Well, I don't want to date myself, but I started dancing. I think in 1980. I was 12, and that's when I started popping. And I was dancing all around New York. We were dancing on the street, and you know, dancing in the subways, and started doing shows. You know, I even did a show with Magnificent Force at the Brooklyn Academy of Music with Wiggles and a kid named Leon and Dion. Very weird. Leon and Dion, Mechanical Puppet, all these crazy people. But that was the days when Wiggs was Wiggs Fable. Those days.
Wow.
So I was dancing all around. Never made it to Rocksteady, you know, until
Till
recently. By the way,
now, welcome to the crew, by the way, sir.
thank you,
That's what's
brother.
up.
What's is there a hand gesture for Rocksteady? Yeah, not really, but you're in Rocksteady. It's fucking cool. Listen, in my day, like I told Legs, Rocksteady was like ridiculous. It was the all star squad to be in Rocksteady. So
Yeah.
I was in what Ty Fly called Junior Rocksteady, which were the Rock Boys, which was essentially the D League of all the motherfuckers who couldn't get down with the real shit. But
Sure.
yeah, because you know it was an elite crew. It was like it wasn't just you weren't putting Legs wasn't putting just a an artist down,
Anybody down?
just anybody down. It was like you had these people and that was it, and
Yeah.
that crew was tight.
Yeah.
So then you started popping,
Of
and
course.
the musicality of all that led you to the dance. Is that what happened? Like the breaking, or you just became more enamored with breaking because breaking is, let's be honest, it's pretty fucking exciting.
It's exciting. I think I just felt the energy in it when I finally saw it like done for real, you know. And I can't pinpoint exactly when. It wasn't like one moment. It was like multiple times because you don't really see it in its entirety unless you're around it.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, if I caught a glimpse of it on television, it was like a move.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, that's dope. And you like you do the move, but you don't see it from top to bottom. You don't see it from like someone entering the cipher, you know, dancing on top, spinning to the floor, doing all the other moves, you know. So that wasn't until I went to breakbeats in Hunts Point in the Bronx. That's when I finally
Mm.
saw it like done in its entirety, and then I was hooked. After that, you couldn't tell me anything. Like I was
So it
done.
seems like though you're more enamored with the top rock aspect of the game than you are with actually hitting the floor, which is so interesting because it is very different than most b-boys. Most b-boys, it's like, okay, I'm going to get this shit over with and hit the floor. It's
Right.
really true. It's like it is kind of a, I'm gonna reference Ken Swift with this because he, in my opinion, really made the up rock, top rock game an art, just such a beautiful art unto itself that a lot of people just left it alone. I know this, I mean, we could talk ad nauseum, forget about it, about the history of top rocking and up rocking and all of that because it just goes on forever. And there's so much of that old school culture that we've lost in the new school kids,
Yeah.
but you have all of that. And I feel like, Shoe Superstar says Ken is the truth. Of course, Ken is the truth. Ken is,
100%. Yeah.
in my
He's
opinion,
the epitome, like they say, right?
yeah, he's the epitome of the b-boy. He's just, I mean, at his peak, it was
Untouchable.
like, yeah, untouchable. Just like, you would see Kenny dance, and I got to see Kenny dance in person many times. Actually, he blessed me coming to a show in Bed-Stuy that I had, and he just hit the floor on some like, I'm just
Whoa.
gonna dance for you type shit. And I was like, yo. And this was probably about 15 years ago.
Wow.
And he was just so freaking good. But the art of it, the integrity of it, has been
Yeah.
kept alive. And I think what you did is you kind of added the mercurial wings to your feet, where you were able to take it, and you seem to just do it a little bit faster, a little bit cleaner, a little bit more technical. You feel Mozarty about the way that you move your feet, the way that you dance. I've seen a lot of great dancing, like Ken Swift is so style and so
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah.
Crazy Legs too, a lot of flavor. I always love, it's really crazy. This is a very insular conversation, guys. So sorry, but this shit is real. But what fucking Wiggles, when Wiggles would top rock and up rock, man, I always thought he was the best in a way. So like I
Yeah.
would watch him top rock and be like, why isn't he just doing that like all the time? Because it was so fucking nasty and so Bronx, and he was Bronx, like he's from the Bronx.
Absolutely.
So it just felt so real and truthful to me.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like no one had better top rock than him. And then you got guys like Ivan, B-Boy Ivan, who was just nasty, and his top rock
A lot of
was
people don't mention him so much for tops because he's so powerful with his ground power and stuff. So, but definitely he had crazy feet, bro. He had crazy feet.
crazy feet. And
Mm-hmm.
K Mel. I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
guys who are good.
100%.
But most of the guys today, and I say guys today, and I really mean kids, because let's be honest, this is a very young. How old are you, YNOT?
I'm 39. I just turned 39.
Okay, and it's amazing that you're still. Have you lost speed at all?
Possibly. I think
Okay.
so. It's hard to tell. I think I'm in that phase where I'm kind of like, how your knowledge is like going and your physicality starts to kind of meet. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's sort of where I'm at right now. I feel like
Okay.
that's I'm plateauing in that sort of way. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
that's very cool.
Hmm.
That's kind of like Jordan in his. I would say that's Jordan in the six championship. Making an analogy with you and Jordan, by the way, Michael Jordan, by the way, not Jordan Peele or anybody, but Michael Jordan had lost the athleticism a little bit. He was starting to wane.
Yeah.
He had gotten way stronger. Obviously, he got stronger because he had to compete with teams like the Pistons early on. He came back from 200 pounds to about 215, 220. He
Wow.
became a different kind of, creature, a different kind of, and he started using his power, his explosivity, and that turnaround jump shot. But his IQ, his basketball IQ was so high. So yeah, you saw the physicality wean. His IQ got higher, and then that was probably when he was the best.
It's a beautiful
So,
moment. It is, man. It's
and
crazy.
I could see that when you dance as well, which is really cool. But there will be a time, like it or not, where your physicality lessons, because it's not like popping, where I feel like you could pop. Look at Popping Pete is in his 50s, and I feel like he's still fresh. But that's
Like, it
popping.
gets better and better, that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's not hitting the floor. He's not.
Right.
He's
He's not
not.
flipping too. He used to flip. Pete used to flip all the time.
Right.
Crazy.
See? Wiggles used to do like why I used to love Wiggles. This is basically all about Wiggles, this show. No, why I used to do Wiggles is because Wiggles would hit. He had so much knee work. His knee work was banana, but now he can't do the knee work like he used to.
I
And
wouldn't
that
even
was such.
attempt some of that now. It just looks too dangerous for me.
Yeah, and you see the kids doing it. Like I watch I don't know what your thoughts are on Lay Twins, but they're
Mm.
always going to their knees. They're phenomenal dancers. But I go like, wow, a lot of their dance is predicated on a lot of that youthful stuff, and as they get older, I wonder how they're going to maintain the integrity of the moves.
I think that's going to be a really interesting thing for all the people that we know. You know, like look at Legs. Wiggles still going. You know, he manages to. I think he will dance to the end, man. He'll figure out a way to keep you in awe of what he does, because he's just really great at what he does, man. He's amazing. You know, so I think about that a lot. You know, being now at the age that I'm at, like longevity. What does that mean? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? You know, now as a dancer, and how far I can go, and yeah, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna figure out always ways to move, because I think I need it. It's like become such a part of my life that you know, you'll find the things that you need to do to keep going. A lot of it is health, man. You gotta just take care of yourself.
Yeah, let me take my black coffee without sugar and
Same every day, every day.
no sugar.
No sugar, no none of that. All black,
Okay.
all day.
Okay, good. Wait, when you say all day, how many cups of coffee are you drinking?
3 to 4.
Okay, not bad. It's all black. It's okay. It's the sugar and the dairy that's gonna kill us. The sugar is just, we all know sugar's bad. We all do it because it's kind of like, this is some Cuban shit right here.
Okay, nice.
This is thick. It's like molasses. But it's good. I like it. I'm
Right.
trying to drink a lot. I'm doing every day. I do 16 hours. So I do just black coffee and water, 16 hours.
Nice.
That's it. So
Nice.
that I just keep it. I just try to do that. That's my bare minimum. And now I'm going to start exercising. Caitlin Bottom says goat milk. I don't touch any animal products at all. It doesn't vibrate well energetically with my frequency whatsoever. I just take out any kind of animal stuff for me personally. No problem anyone that does that, but I choose not to. Like Bartleby the Scrivener in Herman Melville, he always said, I prefer not to, which was a very polite way of
Nice
saying,
way to put it.
hell fucking no. Listen, almond milk's not bad, Johnny. It's just processed. I mean, look, you make your own almond milk, it's fantastic, you know? But if
That would
you
be something.
oat milk is the best. I thought, I'm just going to answer these two real fast. Certified Health Nuts, like, can we talk about your fucking glasses? We will in 1 second, Troy. Hold on 1 second. Oat milk is the best, but dude, oat milk is highly processed, dude. I learned some crazy shit about oat milk, which is none of it's organic. So none of it's organic, and they spray the shit. This is what I heard. They spray oat milk with pesticides to dry it out.
Oh, God.
That sounded really dangerous to me. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just finish this though. Why not? You're a little bit Renaissanceian in the way that you're a dancer. You make beats. You top rock. You up rock. You everything, and you draw and you paint. Let's see. Hold it way closer. Why not? I can't see it.
Yeah, it's too bright, right?
Yeah, it's too bright.
I'll tell you what. Let me see what I can do.
There you go.
You see a little bit of that with the lines?
I don't. Does anybody see that? Because I don't. Could be that my eyes are fading strongly.
I'm also going to be inking that right now, so maybe when we're done with
there
our
you go.
you'll see some of it.
And also, like, do you have your notifications off and your ringer off and everything off?
Yeah, but it still goes off every once in a while. It's a pain in the ass. I can't fix it for some reason.
Oh, do you have an iPhone?
It should be fine.
Someone said touch your screen. Who touched your screen? Him or me? Phone screen. Touch your phone screen, she said. Try touching your phone screen.
No.
It's way better now. No, I have no idea.
Hold
I
on.
have no idea. There you go. Turn down the screen light. Are you talking about for his computer?
Oh, for my iPad. No, yeah, okay, for sure. But I'm going to ink it. You guys will see.
Okay. So before you do that, do you have a normal pencil and pad? Why not? Like this?
I just have this right now.
You don't have anything analog.
Yo,
You gotta get out of this.
you know why? Because I'm in a really interesting situation right now because I'm not around my normal everyday pad. So if I was like with all
Gotcha.
my things, you know what I mean? So I just grab what I've been working on the past week, basically.
Okay, so as we think about how you're going to do what I'm going to ask you to do drawing wise, let's
And
talk about how you became, the incredible dancer that you are. So what was it? What was your journey? What was your hero Joseph Campbell journey to kind of find the truth? I feel like, and I'm going to move along your chronology here, your timeline, and say, is it because you found Wiggles and Wiggles became your Yoda, or what did you have a lot of Yodas and a lot of Obi-Wan Kenobis? What made you you?
I got to give it up to a lot of Yodas, which would be a long list of names, I think, at this point. You know, I think back when I had to write my thesis for school, that was one of the biggest things for me because I was challenged with the idea, like, should I put every bit of inspiration or knowledge that I've gained in my writing? And then I'm thinking, no, I think every part of that deserves its own story.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really difficult for me to list that whole thing and think about which one was more valuable to me or not. I think they all were.
Okay.
Um, but definitely one of the biggest insights to this whole thing has been meeting Wiggles and Crazy Legs. No doubt about that, you know.
Okay.
Um, and my initial kind of meeting point was with a guy named Fast Eddie in New Jersey. He was able to kind of open up other things to me. So I met Kel first through Fast Eddie, which was also a very big deal. And that was before I met, or around the same time that I met Legs, which was crazy. So that's where the art and the dance thing just started to, kind of move at the same time. But if it wasn't for like the mentorship, I wouldn't have these values that I have now. Like you were saying, like with the tops and everything, like everything that I do on top, even before I reach the floor, I value the cultural nuances and the stuff inside that I think is the essence, basically. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So I almost, in a way, don't, not that I don't want to do anything else in terms of the dance. I do it all. Even
Mm-hmm.
actually when I practice, I'm practicing power moves. I'm not practicing top rock. I just do
Mm-hmm.
it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I do it to kind of stay in shape and be on
Yeah.
par with everything.
Yeah.
But I just, it all, again, it just goes back to like what you value. What do you look at as important to the bigger picture, you know?
Will you show some basic top rock stuff to us? Is there a way you can move your camera?
Let me see.
Because people really need to know. Like people are like probably tune in like, oh, that's really cool. What the hell is he talking about? But people need to know, like you are. When I say mercurial, Mercury is the Roman version of. Oh God, why am I? The who's the Greek Mercury? Real
I,
fast, guys. Everybody, chime in. I'm having a brain freeze right now. The
I can still
Greek.
hear you, by the way. I'm just gonna grab my sneakers and stuff.
Okay, cool. Um, so yeah, like the way he moves, guys, like it's just almost weird, like fast. It's clean. It's just like I said. It's like Aries. It's not Aries. Aries is the god of war. It's
I'm an Aries.
I'm an Aries too. But Josh, Aries is the god of war. Hermes, thank you. Hermes. Hermes is, yeah, the
Thanks.
messenger of the gods. Yeah, Hermes, thank you guys. So yeah, like Hermes was just so everybody's chiming in like, good, it's a little late now. I'm kidding, it's good. So thank you. But it's probably, yeah, because people saying because you started with popping. By the way, shout out to Tiger Rabateto because you not only said Hermes, but you also have the Albrecht Dürer prayer hand. So just No, not herpes. Hermes. Okay, guys. So
Yeah, not something
explain
that
and
stays with
explain
you.
to us as you do this. Explain to us what we're looking at here.
Okay. Um, in terms of basics, right? And this is something that I talk a lot about, especially in my workshops, things like that.
Okay.
With breaking, now you notice I said breaking. Like I'm not just going top rock, because top rock is one aspect of the whole.
Right.
And I think it's important. Like, let's say you just want a top rock, and that's dope. But I think to understand the movement as a whole really informs the way you do your top rock.
Gotcha.
Like, I will step differently if I have the intention to go to the floor, even though I may not.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed when I teach it, for example. And I'm like, well, what is missing in here that I'm not feeling? And I would talk to my students, and I'd realize, I said, well, you have to now feel what it's like to approach the floor. You
Mm.
have to maybe do some footwork, some shuffles on the ground, so you can feel what that's like, the weight shift to drop
Mm.
down, or how you have to prepare to go up to the air or down to the ground. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I listen, like I said, there's so much incredible dance these days. And my favorite dance has kind of become almost a blend of like house. But I've noticed that every single dancer, whether they're doing house or these all styles, they're all using top rock. They're all using upright. They're all taking a little bit because they go, that's so fucking cool. That's
Mm.
the coolest shit I've ever seen. So they're integrating it into their plan. Shout out to B Girl Priscilla. That's my mom. No, I'm kidding, but that's my mom's name, Priscilla. So uh, it is beautiful. It is poetic, but it is warrior like. It is tribal. So there's something incredibly tribal about it, and it's really beautiful. Yeah. So just kind of walk us through or dance us through some of what you do.
So it's really cool that you said tribal, because I was teaching one time, and the music cut off in the middle of me teaching a step, right? Which we call the Indian step, which I think is a little derogatory at this point, but it's a crossover step, right? So it's going kick
Mm-hmm.
cross. You might see a lot of people do this in tap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go kick cross, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you listen to the rhythm of that pattern, it's like, right? That makes me think of tribal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. See how smooth that is too. I do the Indian myself, but it's not as smooth uh, as that. But it's yeah, it is. And what like this when I start thinking about the origins from an artistic point of view, I start thinking like where is the Indian from? Yeah, he's really light on his feet. That Juno me 20, Judah said you're light on your feet. You're real. That is the difference with you. That's what makes you Mercurial and Hermes. It's like Mercury. It just slides. You're sliding on the ground.
Weight shift, man. It's all about the weight shift, right? Similar to
Mm,
boxing, it's very similar to that stance
mm,
in a way, right? You're constantly negotiating that weight forward and back and side to side, right? And the
mm-hmm.
readiness, just like you would if you were approaching another fighter, it's the same feeling,
Okay.
right? You know.
So show us some other stuff and perhaps you can freestyle a little bit just to show
Okay,
the
sure.
possibilities.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'll go over, actually, you know what? Being that we mentioned earlier about my mom, I'll show you some, like, of the hustle influence, some
Oh
of those,
yeah,
right?
amazing.
And this is no music, right? We'll just go in.
Yeah. Mm. Flavor. Damn, right? How your knees feeling? Pretty good?
Right. Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't have to what you don't have to so are you stretching these days?
Yeah, I'm stretching pretty often, man, but I think you know, I realized after some time, um, the diet was one of the main things that really helped me out
Okay.
in moving forward, and taking out the sugars, taking out the bullshit, basically.
So you don't you're not a junk food guy anymore.
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's good. So what are you just eating like whole foods? Are you vegan? Are you just plant-based? Are you eating whole foods? No. Just good clean food?
Clean food, as clean as possible, at least.
Okay.
Because I think the biggest challenge I had was because I travel a lot. So getting to the food that I think is probably better for me
Mm-hmm.
has been a challenge. And but I replaced that or helped get through that through just fasting in general. You know,
Are you fasting every day? Are you intermittent fasting?
every day
Okay.
I basically eat from 11 till 4, and that's it.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
doing an 18-hour window every day?
every day.
Wow. That's really good. I'm doing a 16-hour window.
Nice.
Uh, but you so you don't find that hard anymore?
No, I think after a couple of weeks, it was no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
smart.
just got to make sure you're eating during that time. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Right, because yeah, exactly. You missed the window and then you're like, shit, my window's got to change and everything. Yeah, well, I said yesterday, did I say it yesterday? Yeah, with you, with Troy, I said, the less you eat, the longer you live, the longer you live, the more you can eat. And,
100%.
you're just gonna have a easier time with everything. I believe that, food is really the medicine. Food is the key. And sometimes just really not eating anything is the medicine, especially as you get older. I tell my mom that all the time. You eat way too much. My mom eats like she's not on Instagram, so I could say this freely. But my mom eats like she's going to run a triathlon. I'm like, Mom,
Wow.
you're 82. You don't need all those calories. Like you're not running a triathlon. You're not swimming. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
to it's just it's she's pretty sedentary. She walks her dogs and that's it. But it
Mm.
really
That hunger
doesn't.
feeling fools you, man. It really does, to think that you need that. And then when you start to take it away, you realize actually that our bodies don't really require all of that to be at a high performance.
At all, at all. So just a good thing in general to look out for everybody. Um, so why not? Let's do a little thing where I ask everybody to do one thing. I want you to write your signature.
Okay.
Now, if it's not showing up on camera, maybe you have a black screen and you write it in white.
You know what? I know I have a Sharpie somewhere. I'm gonna do it like that.
Okay, yeah, go take your time.
I'm pretty
So, and in the
sure.
meantime, I'm going to answer these. She's 82. Let the girl eat. Trust me, I have no say in what my mom does. My mom's from New York. She pretty much does what she wants to do when she wants to do it. So, that's not changing. But, I do see, I put her on a cleanse. I put my mom on a raw food cleanse and a gallbladder flush. And I swear to God, she looked 10 years younger in 1 week. She lost 10 pounds in 1 week and looked 10 years younger. Okay, so why not? Why don't you write your name?
So I have a
Uh,
question.
yes.
Signature, right?
Yeah.
When I started getting into writing
Mm-hmm.
graffiti,
Mm-hmm.
it changed my signature altogether.
It's
Also,
great.
I realized my handwriting in general is really bad.
Most
But
people,
then when
most
I
people are.
stylize it, it changes. You know what I
Well,
mean?
the thing about handwriting is, well, I always say that your signature is a picture. It's your art because it's something that you're doing from writing checks to credit cards, you're signing at coffee shops to basically what you're putting out there in the world. That is a manifestation of you, whether you like to believe it or not. We all have a signature. We all are creating art. You go back to the days of hieroglyphics with the Egyptians, it's all letters, it's all hand styles, all the way down through time to the cave paintings of Lascaux, France. hand styles. So we have to attribute the importance to a signature as a painting. So when you say, I don't draw, you do draw. You
You
just
do
don't
draw.
know that you're drawing.
Yeah.
We all draw. We all write our name. We all have. Oh, you're a lefty too.
I'm a righty.
You're a righty. Okay, cool.
Sorry to disappoint.
So that's okay. Nothing is disappointing me. Okay. So
Why don't
you do your signature? Saying don't show your signature. He's gonna show his signature. So
like my name, my real name?
No, just what you always write. Like why not? And then we'll get into after you do that. Where and actually in the meantime, before you show us, why don't you tell us where why not came from?
Okay, this is a cool story actually. I when I started to get into hip hop, I realized, okay, let me go back even a little bit further. I am Italian American. I also have some Polish in my family, right? Long story short, if you're born in New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia area, if you're Italian American, most likely you know some family business situations and weird things that go on in that community.
Gotcha.
When I met people in hip hop, they had nicknames similar to some of the nicknames of some of my friends that I knew. So it was like interesting when I started hearing those things. So when I started getting into hip hop, I was like, I want a name that's my name because I want it to mean me, basically. You know, I want my personality to be in there. So what's better than just using Tony, right? But
Yep.
I'm trying Tony Rock, Tony Ski, Tony with a T,
Tony
Rock. Like I
Love.
was like, yo, none of these were working. Plus everyone kept saying, no, that person exists already, right? So I was like, okay. So through some time, I started to use other people's personas when I would dance. And then I would just take on their name. So I had a few names before I had YNOT because I was taking their whole approach to how they live life. So there was a famous racketeer in Philly area called Max Hoff. And his nickname was Boo Boo, right? And the reason why he called himself that is because he kind of looked like a pushover type dude, right? He was running shit, but nobody knew. So he's one of the most famous racketeers in the 20s, actually, in Philly. I knew of him through stories, things like that. I loved the idea of that. Also because me coming into hip hop, I was like one of the very few, you know, Italian American kids getting down with it. Like most of my friends were Puerto Rican, Dominican, Black. So, and the thing was, I had this look about me, I guess. I looked very harmless, you know what I'm saying? But then I would start dancing, they were like, oh, what, yo, like they were like, what's coming out of this kid? We don't understand, right? So I took on that personification, I guess, of Max Hoff for a while. And that was like my thing. Then when I started getting into writing, I would write Tony everywhere. And then, you know, in New York, they have the pillars, especially in the subway, right? So you have to also have your up and down style. You can't just write across. Otherwise, your tag's going to be this small. If you write up and down, then you can kind of elongate that with your letters, right? So I started doing that. And then I realized in that point, oh, I can also go backwards, forwards, up, down. That's where Tony backwards became YNOT. And then I stuck with that because that's my name and I felt very comfortable with that. So, yeah.
That's great. Yeah, Scotsman figured that out. He said, oh shit, Tony's backwards. I didn't even realize that this whole time. That's smart. Very cool. Tony, okay, so now let's see it.
Just a tag.
Yeah, keep going up closer. Okay, a little higher. That's Tony. Oh no, that's YNOT, but it's backwards.
It's YNOT but backwards because we're seeing it backwards.
Okay, so I ask everybody this: what are two things you love about your signature, and one thing that you would like to change?
Well, I love it because it's been through a process, you know, and that's the whole thing about writing, which is interesting. I think when we write our names normally, if we're signing a check, you know, like you said, we're making our signature. We don't usually sit and develop our signatures. I don't think some of us think about it. We just do it and that's it, right? With writing, with getting into the idea of graffiti, I started to craft a bit more of what it might look like. So I started putting my own feelings and thoughts into it. I like straight edge as well as curve. I have an O right in the middle of my name. So I started playing with the idea that that may be extending or going up and bigger. So what I don't like about it is that I think it could be better. I'm always looking at it in some type of subjective or objective way where I'm like, okay, I don't know about the and it's too, you know, it's not angled properly. And what's interesting about it is the Y leans opposite of the knot.
Let me see. Let me see one more time.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because the Y kind of shoots off this way.
Yep.
And the knot is almost leaning in another way. I didn't even do it that well, but it's kind of going in a different way, in a different direction. It's going this way and not going this way.
But it's interesting because it also feels like it's evolving. Like there's a crescendo. It's like you're always moving this way and you're not looking back. You know what I mean? You're like, it's like that direction.
True.
You know, I say that I
usually put the arrow down there too. I just did that now so you can see that.
Oh, nice.
So it's just,
you're always moving this way, but one day you know you're going to go down. Just kidding. No, it's you know, I always feel like it's a interesting example of who we are and what we put out there. So with that being said, I do this every time too. These are like the basic things. I ask basic questions. With you, you know, we're getting everything: dance, beat making, art. What is your favorite color?
Wow. That's a hard one. Black.
Okay. It's one of mine too. Who is your favorite artist or artists? Not musically, but visual.
Da Vinci.
Why?
Because I'm also a math and science type of person.
I could see that because you're a Renaissance guy. You love dance, you like music, you like, you know, the science of it. You're playing in the digital space. You know, you do a lot of graphic design. Those guys studied under one umbrella. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were like, oh, I'm going to just paint or I'm going to do statues. They were, I'm going to paint, I'm going to sculpt, I'm going to do architecture, I'm going to study physics, light logic, and color theory. It was all under the same thing. Now everything is over specialized, augmented in their own hyper special, science. So now it's different. You know, you can take a color theory class. Oh, that's nice. You can take a painting class without even taking a drawing class. It's very unusual.
That's so good you're saying that, BUA, because I've experienced that. So when I went back to school for my master's, I went to school for dance. And for my thesis, I basically created industrial design work.
That's interesting. So you have a master's, like, huh?
What is he doing?
Yeah. So you have a master's. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the other thing is, the other question is, what do you think your greatest contribution to the world has been?
Well, you know, I feel like through breaking, that's been not only something that I've given, but also something I've received that, you know, so much, man. So, but I think what I bring to the table in terms of breaking or just the hip hop scene, I guess you could say, is that, and it all stems back to my name again. The reason why I really enjoyed picking my name at that point when I realized that it said "Why Not" was that, you know, I always think about, why can't we do this? Why don't we move forward? Why just paint on the wall when you can bring that into a digital sculpture 3D space? Like, why can't we, you know? So I'm thinking now especially with the next few steps that I've been taking, that will be a big message that I leave behind. And I'm hoping that I'm someone that can show the possibilities, basically. You know.
So what you're saying is you want to take what you've done with breaking, top rocking, and manifest it into different dimensions
Yeah.
so that you're kind of like this heterodox b-boy scientist.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, the next thing I'm going to ask is you started probably drawing at a young age, right?
Comic books.
Comic books was
First thing. Yeah.
that was your thing. And
Yep.
what was your favorite comic?
It went through phases because I think in the beginning I only got into it for the art. I didn't read it. The first comic book I read that I followed from beginning was Spawn.
Oh, okay.
But I was into comic books before that, obviously. I mean, Spawn's a bit later, but Hulk was amazing. I think just the images were incredible to me. I was a huge Silver Surfer fan, you know, Galactus, Thanos, all that type of stuff.
Would you be willing to share a drawing that you used to do as a child? If you could kind of like, do a quick doodle of what you used to do as a kid. What was your go-to drawing? Because we all have those, right? We're sitting around, whether it's fifth grade, sixth grade, we all have our go-to doodle. Some people have the Stussy S. Other people do, Bart Simpson. Some people do doodle dogs, profiles, cars, spaceships, flowers, horses. Everybody has theirs.
Right. I'm going to try and do this. This is so the way I used to draw. It's so crazy.
That's okay. It's good. And it also connects you to an earlier space and time. And why we did that, and then what
this is great, man. This is so cool because this is taking me back to my high school, man.
Nice.
You know.
Were you the guy that
really
were you the go-to like?
So this is gonna take. I'm not trying to get into that because obviously that takes a lot of time.
Oh, so you were stippling it?
I was after a while. Yeah, I definitely was into that technique. I just really enjoyed it for some reason. It spoke to me, you know.
Stippling, by the way, for everybody that doesn't know what that is, that's a little bit of an old school phrase, but it's essentially pointillism, where you're creating an image using dots. Stippling was very big in the 1970s, particularly in 1972, when the illustrative. I'm just kidding. I don't know about that part, but for sure, stippling used to feel like it was way bigger in the days. My grandfather was a graphic artist, and he used to take dots when he was doing. He would take those. You would lay the piece of paper down, and you would rub the other paper, and you would just do dots. Exactly, lots of dots, Scotsman. For sure. This is an art bus tour with your host, Art Bus BUA.
I love it. Justin, when did you meet Legs, man? I know you guys talked on live, didn't you?
Yeah, so I met Legs, I think, when I was 12 years old, and he was 50. No, I'm kidding. I met Legs when I was, I think, 12 for the first time, and I met him so many times, but he was never kind. He was a mean, kind of a prick. He was an arrogant prick to me. That was my personal experience. I admired him. I thought he was incredible. But when they were filming Beat Street, and I was there, in the front of the scene, I was like, "What's up, Legs?" He'd be like, "Fuck you, looking," or whatever, just around the neighborhood. Listen, I lived down the block from Rocksteady Park, so I always saw Legs with Kenny, and Kenny was way more, way cooler. I was like, "What's up, Kenny?" He'd be like, "What's up, man?" That kind of shit. Everybody was from our neighborhood. Bobito. I had my dance partner's name was Boogie George. Boogie George was probably, in my opinion, one of the best poppers of the time, and he was my partner. So we used to go up to Rocksteady Park, Ty Fly, Normski. I was really good friends with Norman, and
Wow,
friends with Scotty, Norman's older brother.
that's awesome.
So, but Legs and I guess I met him when I was 12 officially, but, didn't become friends with him until 2 days ago. No kidding. Until, later in life when everybody matured, you know what I mean? But Legs is great. I mean, such a wonderful soul, good guy. And, quite honestly, for like I said, for better, for worse, he kept Rocksteady and the dance alive through all the times when it was like, oh, breaking? That's so 80s. What, he got the Oz box? You gonna break out the Oz box? Get out of here with that break dance stuff. You still
Oh,
doing that
that's
shit?
crazy.
It's like, bro, come on. Now it's global. It's like now here we are again in the global reality of dance, and it's integrated into cheerleading, and it's integrated into, everybody on from So You Think You Could Dance to World of Dance with Neo and J Lo and Derek. Everybody's using breaking. There's nobody not using breaking. Nobody.
True,
It's
true.
integrated. There's the purity of it. There's guys like you and Kamel and all of these great dancers who are continually keeping it alive. Um, Escher says Poppin' John. I don't know why you say that. Poppin' John is an incredible popper, a great friend.
Yep,
But like you, conversely, Popping John started as a b-boy and became a popper. You started as a popper and became a b-boy. So I think that
that's awesome.
blending disciplines is very, very important because you start to draw from other areas. Myself, I would say that with my style because my style has a lot to do with the graffiti I wrote, as well as the classical painting I wrote, as well as the dance that I was influenced by.
Mm.
If you have that influence, you can see it. You saw
It
a lot
shapes
of
what you're doing, right?
what Leonardo did as a painter. You see his understanding of science and physics and anatomy. Uh, you saw that. Yes, Esha, John was on World of Dance, is what you're referring to. Yeah,
Oh, he
and
was really.
yeah, he made it pretty far along there.
That's tight.
Yeah, Jabberwockies. Juno Me says Jabberwockies took breaking to Vegas. Yeah, there's all these different iterations of it, and there always will be. But right now, it's just kind of integral, and it's important. It's a very important cultural phenomenon. I mean, I think Ken Swift was voted in the top most influential dancers of all time, right up there with Baryshnikov, right up there with
Wow, that's
I don't know who it
incredible.
was, Gregory Hines, Baryshnikov,
Wow,
Martha Graham. I mean,
incredible.
because you have to think about that. It makes
That makes
sense.
sense, though.
Yeah, of
You know,
course.
I mean, he
Everybody's
birthed my
grabbing from
whole
him.
generation. People like Kenny and Legs and Wiggles, man. Like, my gosh, influenced so many.
Yeah, no, for
Crazy.
sure. No, he was that movie Breakin'. Yes, that was more on the popping tip with Boogaloo Shrimp, Taco Pete, Shabadoo, whatever, Schmabashmoo,
Shmabadoo. Yo, so I went
Schmabadoo.
straight marker with this. I haven't done
Okay,
that in a while.
cool,
I just been drawing on
perfect. Let's
the
see it.
iPad. So these are characters that I used to kind of draw, right?
Come closer with it.
I don't know if you can see. So
I can.
the hair used to be wild because my hair used to poof out and be really curly. Um,
Very
so I would
cool.
just kind of like draw these characters that were like that.
Mm.
The eyes have like the cityscape in them. I don't know if you can see that. Like
Oh, very
I used
cool.
to always put those in the eyes for some reason, and then
Yep.
the stipple would go all throughout the hair, man. I mean, I would just do the whole hair.
He's got like a weird like cauliflower afro.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly, man.
See, and
Yeah.
it's very clean and it feels very. You did that very quickly too, by the way. So were you the kid in class? Everyone was like, "Yo, why not draw this? Why not draw that?"
Yeah, yeah, for sure. A lot of times, I haven't, dude, this is crazy because I haven't drawn a character in.
But you have good characters.
Thanks, man. I
I used to
appreciate that,
think
man.
Doe's, in my opinion, always had the best characters.
Oh
Like
man,
when I was a kid, when I saw his characters, I was like, "Yo, his characters are like the best," because they were, yeah, clean, fresh. But yeah, Greg says very clean. It's true. It is very clean. And he did that in 2 seconds, by the way, guy. Just 2 seconds. Next time I'll draw with you. I'll
yeah.
draw here with you. I think I'm going to do a 3 hour drawing session with Hubert.
Wow.
Uh, Saturday or Sunday. Not sure yet, but I will let everybody know.
That's gonna be good.
I have, by the way, Detour here tomorrow. The artist Detour is very talented, brother, very talented. I used to distribute his work actually, and he's on here tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Don't miss that.
I want to say that episode with Dwelly was classic, bro. That was amazing.
Why did you like it so much?
I'm a fan of his as well. You know, when I started getting into production, and of course, Jay Dilla is probably, you know, also very influential for a lot of people for making beats. But Dwelly was on a lot of his songs. And I used to be like, oh, this dude's very soulful. It's really dope to hear that kind of Detroit, you know, soul influence on those records, man. Dwelly's fresh. But I thought the episode was dope. Like the way the conversation you guys had and what you were like getting him to do and think about was very cool, man.
Well, I got him a little out of his comfort zone. I think that, you know, people are not like you necessarily, and I think that's why this is an interesting show. Is that sometimes with the show, I'm just going to paint for 3 hours with Qbert. I can't have a conversation with Qbert. Qbert's like, yo.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, you're like, Qbert, where are you?
Where'd you go?
Yeah. No, you know, and and that's great. Somebody like you draw, Detour draws, but it's nice to get people actually that don't draw, because we all draw. And I think everybody has it in them, and to bring that out, perhaps they can be able to see a different side of them that they don't normally see. And especially when you're talented in the arts, because you're basically taking your talent and just plugging into like this. It's like, I'm a musician. I really understand a lot of stuff. Let me just boop. And all of a sudden you're doing art. There's that energy that's there. You might not have the technical virtuosity to articulate yourself eloquently, but you still have that same aesthetic.
Yeah.
So you just put it in. It might, you know, and it could be a very juvenile version, not in a derogatory way, but, you know, it's like me with music. If I play piano, you're going to get the essence of BUA, but I don't know what I'm really doing. And until I do, then I'll be able to control that a little bit more. So I think it's important.
That's awesome. I use the same techniques to teach dance with drawing. It's the same thing. And I try to show the you know, how those relate to each other. Line, form, space,
Smart.
all of that, you know?
I say that too when I draw. It's, you know, I always talk about the beat of it. You know, like you want to go boom, boom, bap, boom, 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 bap, or do you want to go bum, 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 bum? You want to be Philip Glass about it and fucking get into the minimalist conceptual world, which is fine, or do you want to, you know, go heavier, deeper? You want to go more Dutch master into the core of the. I mean, it's endless. That's what's great about art, and I feel like we can get a little bit into the soul and the spirit of the person if they share a little bit of their art. You know, it's interesting because I never even asked people like Qbert to draw, but I think I should eventually.
Should, for sure.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
All right, brother. This has been great. I think everybody loved this. People, thank you so much for joining us. Why not? Thank you guys, all you Rage Against the Machiners, to listen in. You guys are great. We should do another one where we just we do some more dancing and some beat making, and I'll join you with the Indian and you know, some other shit. Maybe even hit the 6-step, the 3-step, and some other bullshit steps. So, all right, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Love you. I'm gonna hit you after. Okay, bro. Peace.